This is CNN Breaking News.
Welcome to our viewers here in the United States and around the world. I'm Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room. We're following breaking news. Top Georgia election officials debunking completely President Trump's election conspiracy theories after his truly shocking call to the Secretary of State of Georgia demanding he find the votes to overturn the democratically held results. In a scathing point-by-point takedown just a little while ago, one clearly frustrated top Republican election official in Georgia said the Trump team has, quote, intentionally misled the state Senate, voters, and the people of the United States, close quote. Also breaking right now, President-elect Biden campaigning in Georgia right now for the two Democratic challengers in tomorrow's critical Senate runoff election that will determine which party controls the U.S. Senate. We're also following breaking pandemic news. The U.S. death toll now topping 352,000 people with more than 20.7 million cases, and deep concern right now about the vaccine rollout here in the United States. The CDC says almost 15.5 million doses have been distributed, but just 4.5 million people have been immunized so far. Let's get straight to the White House to start our coverage this hour. Our chief White House correspondent, Jim Acosta, is standing by. Jim, a truly remarkable new attempt by the president to overturn the election he clearly and decisively lost.
Oh, that's right, Wolf. He's really out of control, and President Trump's attempted shakedown of Georgia's Secretary of State even has some of his own supporters concerned about what he will do next. One Trump advisor told me the president is being fed false conspiracy theories by a team of enablers on a daily basis. That has darkened his mood in recent weeks. The advisor went on to say Mr. Trump is acting like a dictator now who wants to burn things to the ground on his way out, adding, quote, an arsonist will always light the match. Down in Georgia, state officials, as you said, complain they are playing whack-a-mole, knocking down the president's false claims. One day after the president's unhinged attempt to fix the election results in Georgia, state officials there are firing back with a methodical debunking of Mr. Trump's bogus conspiracy theories.
This is all easily provably false. Yet the president persists. I will admit, when I listened to the audio of the phone call and the president brought that up again, and I heard it on a radio ad again today, I wanted to scream.
Still scrambling to scam his way into a second term, President Trump is lashing out at members of his own party who won't join his quest to overturn the election, tweeting, the surrender caucus within the Republican Party will go down in infamy as weak and ineffective guardians of our nation who are willing to accept the certification of fraudulent presidential numbers. Some in the GOP can't believe their own ears after the president's call to Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, aimed at cooking up a Trump win in that state.
So, look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state. So what are we going to do here, folks? I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
CNN has confirmed the White House attempted to call Raffensperger 18 times before the one-hour conversation over the weekend.
The people of Georgia are angry. The people of the country are angry. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, that you've recalculated.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong.
I did want to make my points. The data that he has is just plain wrong. He had hundreds and hundreds of people he said that were dead that voted. We found 2.
Even some of the GOP senators planning to side with the president and object to the official counting of electoral votes this Wednesday in Congress have issues with the call.
One of the things I think that everyone has said is that this call was not a helpful call.
Other Republicans, like Senator Tom Cotton, are refusing to join the effort, saying in a statement, under the Constitution and federal law, Congress's power is limited to counting electoral votes submitted by the states. That drew a rebuke from the president, who tweeted in response to Cotton that Republicans never forget. Vice President Mike Pence, who will preside over the electoral vote count on January 6th, sidestepped the issue while campaigning before Tuesday's Senate runoff in Georgia.
I promise you, come this Wednesday, we'll have our day in Congress. We'll hear the objections. We'll hear the evidence. But tomorrow is Georgia's day.
All living former U.S. defense secretaries have issued a letter insisting it's all over for Mr. Trump, writing, "The time for questioning the results has passed. The time for the formal counting of the Electoral College votes as prescribed in the Constitution and statute has arrived." Tell that to GOP Senator Josh Hawley, who's leading the charge to object to the election results in Congress this week, the kind of action he once slammed during Mr. Trump's impeachment.
The consequences to the Republic of overturning a democratic election because you don't like the result and because you believe that that election was somehow corrupted, when in fact the evidence shows that it was not.
Add to that Republican Senator Susan Collins, who once said she thought the president had learned his lesson after being impeached over a phone call.
I believe that the president has learned from this case. The president has been impeached. That's a pretty big lesson.
Now, the president is scheduled to campaign for Georgia's endangered Republican senators at a rally in the state later on this evening. Mr. Trump may want to consider how long he lingers in the state. The Fulton County District Attorney released a statement earlier today saying she found Mr. Trump's phone call to be disturbing. The district attorney went on to say in a statement that she will enforce the law without fear or favor, and that anybody who commits a felony violation of law in the state of Georgia in her jurisdiction will be held accountable. Wolf, that is tough talk from that district attorney. And when you talk to the president's advisors, they say, you know, the president may think if he, for example, pardons himself, that only covers him when it comes to federal law. He's running into a potential, Wolf, for being in violation of state law down in Georgia. That's a big concern to the president and his team around him, Wolf.
And potentially New York City and New York State as well, even if he were to pardon himself, even if he were to resign and let Mike Pence be president for a few days and issue a pardon, he still would potentially be vulnerable to state and local charges, not federal charges, state and local charges. All right, Jim Acosta, stand by. The President-elect Joe Biden is in Georgia right now campaigning for the Democrats in tomorrow's Senate runoff election. CNN political correspondent MJ Lee is joining us right now. MJ, tomorrow's vote will have a tremendous impact on Biden's presidency.